Welcome to Sleepy Facts Universe. Take a slow, gentle breath in and let it drift out, unhurried and easy. You've arrived at a quiet place where curiosity softens, thoughts slow down, and science becomes a lullaby for the mind. Tonight there is nothing you need to solve, nothing you need to remember, nothing you need to stay awake for. You are simply here to listen, to wonder, and to rest. In this softly glowing space, we explore 100 things science still can't explain, not as puzzles demanding answers, but as mysteries that remind us how vast, gentle, and beautifully unfinished our universe truly is. These unanswered questions are not failures of knowledge, they are open doors. And open doors, when approached calmly, can feel deeply comforting. As your body settles into stillness, allow your shoulders to loosen. Let your jaw unclench. Let your breathing find its own slow rhythm. Science often feels loud during the day, filled with data, debates, urgency. But at night, science changes its voice. It becomes quieter, slower, more patient. It whispers instead of shouts. And in that whisper, it invites sleep. Imagine the universe itself resting alongside you, galaxies spinning without effort, stars burning without haste, time passing without pressure. One of the most soothing truths science has revealed is this: the universe is under no obligation to make immediate sense, and neither are you. Tonight, we begin with a simple, calming realization. There are limits to what humans currently understand, and that is not something to fear. In fact, it is something that has gently guided humanity forward for thousands of years. Every unanswered question is like a soft star in the distance, not calling you to chase it, but to admire its glow. Consider consciousness. You are aware right now. You are listening. You are drifting. And yet, science cannot fully explain how awareness arises from the quiet activity of billions of tiny cells. Thoughts appear, emotions fade, dreams form entire worlds behind closed eyes. No equation yet explains why experience feels like something from the inside. And perhaps that mystery allows consciousness to feel more like a warm presence than a mechanical process. As you listen, your own awareness can relax. You don't need to analyze it. You don't need to control it. It knows how to drift naturally. Now imagine time, not as numbers on a clock, but as a gentle river. Science can measure time, bend it in equations, slow it near massive objects. Yet no one truly knows why time flows forward and never back. Why moments seem to move from past to present to future, like a soft tide pulling everything along. And here, in this moment, time asks nothing of you. You are allowed to float. The universe itself holds mysteries so vast they stretch the imagination into calm silence. Dark matter, for instance, an invisible substance shaping galaxies with quiet strength. It does not shine. It does not speak. It simply exists, guiding stars into graceful spirals. Most of the universe is made of something we cannot see or touch, and still, everything moves in harmony. There is something deeply reassuring about that. So much can be unseen, and still be supportive. Your own life contains unseen strengths, quiet forces that have carried you through days you barely remember. Just like dark matter, they don't demand attention to be powerful. As we move deeper into this night, let your breathing slow even more, in and out. Science also wonders about the origin of the universe itself. The moment when space began expanding, when energy and matter emerged from a state beyond our understanding. The equations work, the observations align. But the why remains softly out of reach, and perhaps that is a gift. Not every beginning needs a sharp explanation. Some beginnings are meant to feel like gentle awakenings rather than loud events. Look inward for a moment. Your own beginnings, your earliest memories, are likely blurred, incomplete, dreamlike, and yet they still shaped you. Mystery does not weaken meaning, it deepens it. Even gravity, so familiar and dependable, carries unanswered questions. We know how it behaves, how it curves space, how it keeps planets in their quiet paths. But why it exists at all remains an open question. And still, every night, gravity holds you safely against the Earth, allowing rest to come naturally. You don't need to understand gravity to trust it. You don't need answers to feel supported. As your body grows heavier, imagine the planet gently cradling you, spinning silently through space, carrying oceans, clouds, and sleeping minds across the darkness. Another calm mystery drifts through science, why the laws of physics are so perfectly balanced for life. Tiny changes would have led to a cold, empty universe. Instead, here you are, listening, breathing, resting. Science observes this balance with awe, but its deeper reason remains unknown. And sometimes wonder is enough. Let your thoughts slow like stars fading behind thin clouds. You don't need to chase them. You don't need to finish them. Tonight is not about answers. It's about allowing questions to soften into quiet companions. As we continue this journey, we will move gently from one mystery to the next, never rushing, never demanding clarity. Each unknown will be treated like a calming thought you can hold briefly, then let drift away as sleep grows closer. For now, simply stay here, listening, breathing, floating in the comfort of not needing to know everything. And as this calm curiosity settles deeper into your mind, we naturally continue forward into the next quiet unfolding of science's unanswered wonders. Into the next quiet unfolding of science's unanswered wonders. From this gentle momentum, your mind can drift toward the vast question of what the universe is mostly made of. Scientists have learned that everything familiar, stars, planets, oceans, bodies, breath, accounts for only a small fraction of existence. The majority remains unseen, quietly present, shaping reality without ever announcing itself. Dark energy stretches space itself, guiding galaxies farther apart with patient consistency, yet its true nature stays hidden, like a presence felt but never fully revealed. There is a calm lesson resting here. Not everything meaningful needs to be visible. Not everything powerful needs to be understood. As your breathing slows, imagine space expanding softly, not with force, but with ease, like a slow exhale that never ends. Expansion without urgency, motion without effort. Even the universe knows how to relax. Another mystery drifts into awareness, the nature of reality at its smallest scale. Deep within atoms, particles behave less like solid objects and more like gentle probabilities. They appear, disappear, exist in multiple states, responding only when observed. Science can describe these behaviors with remarkable precision, yet cannot fully explain why reality behaves like a quiet question rather than a fixed answer. And here, in this half-dreaming state, that uncerta. Inti feels natural. Your thoughts do the same. They arise, they fade, they do not need to settle. The brain itself becomes a peaceful enigma as night deepens. While asleep, it creates stories, landscapes, emotions, entire lifetimes, without effort or instruction. Science can track electrical patterns, chemical signals, cycles of rest. Still, the reason dreams take the shapes they do remains gently elusive. Perhaps dreams are not puzzles to decode, but spaces to rest within. Allow your imagination to soften. Let images float by without attachment. Nothing needs to make sense right now. Some mysteries exist far beyond Earth, drifting through the silence between stars. Signals from space arrive unexpectedly, brief, powerful bursts of energy that vanish as quickly as they appear. Their origins remain unknown. They do not threaten. They simply arrive, then leave, reminding us that the universe still speaks in languages we have not yet learned. And listening does not require translation, only openness. Your body, meanwhile, continues its quiet work. Cells repair, muscles release. The heart keeps a steady rhythm older than thought. Science understands much of how this happens, but not why healing feels restorative beyond the physical, why rest can feel comforting in a way numbers cannot measure. Comfort does not need explanation, it only needs permission. As awareness grows softer, consider time once more, not as minutes passing, but as an experience stretching or shrinking depending on attention. A single moment of peace can feel endless. A lifetime can pass in memory like a single breath. Science maps time with extraordinary tools, yet the way it feels remains deeply perso. Null, untouched by equations. Right now, time feels slow, and slow feels safe. Another quiet question settles in: why the universe remembers. Light from distant stars carries stories billions of years old, still arriving, still visible. Space itself holds echoes of beginnings long past. Memory seems woven into existence, yet no one knows why the cosmos preserves its history so faithfully. You, too, carry memories, some clear, some blurred, some gently dissolving. Tonight, none of them require attention. They can rest, just as stars rest inside the dark. As the flow continues, your mind may begin drifting in and out. This is welcome. Listening can become softer. Awareness can thin like mist under moonlight. The mysteries ahead do not require full attention to work their calming effect. They will continue quietly, guiding thought toward stillness, curiosity toward calm, and wakefulness toward rest. As we move naturally onward, deeper into the soothing unknown. As we move naturally onward, deeper into the soothing unknown. Here, the journey carries your awareness toward questions that feel closer, quieter, almost personal. Science observes that every human shares nearly identical building blocks, yet no two lives unfold the same way. The reason individuality emerges from shared biology remains softly unexplained. Personality, preference, intuition, these qualities arise without a clear blueprint, like gentle variations in a familiar melody. And tonight, you are allowed to be exactly as you are. No comparison, no correction, just presence. Another mystery drifts forward, intuition. Decisions sometimes arrive without conscious reasoning, guided by a calm inner sense. Our science can trace patterns, signals, learned responses, yet the feeling of simply knowing without effort remains difficult to fully define. Perhaps intuition is the mind's quiet way of resting on accumulated wisdom. There is no need to question it now. Rest can trust itself. Beyond the mind, the universe holds questions about order and chaos. Why do complex structures form at all? Why do galaxies organize, weather patterns repeat, ecosystems balance themselves with such delicate precision? Entropy predicts disorder, yet beauty and structure continue to appear. Science measures these processes, but the deeper harmony behind them stays just out of reach. You can feel that harmony now, in your breath, in the stillness beneath thought. As listening grows softer, consider the mystery of life's persistence. Against cosmic odds, life emerged, adapted, and continued through immense change. Why life chooses survival, why it reaches for continuity, has no single explanation. Perhaps life simply responds to existence with a gentle yes. And tonight, rest is your own quiet yes. There are also questions that stretch beyond matter itself. What gives meaning to experience? Why does beauty feel calming? Why does silence feel full rather than empty? Science can study responses, reactions, brain activity, yet the depth of meaning remains something felt more than solved. Meaning does not ask for effort. It arrives when resistance fades. Your awareness may now begin to loosen, drifting between sound and silence. This space, neither fully awake nor fully asleep, is where unanswered questions feel especially peaceful. They no longer demand clarity. They become companions, floating beside why, rather than pulling you forward. Some mysteries will never be solved, not because they cannot be, but because they serve a different purpose. They remind the mind to slow. They invite humility. They allow wonder to exist without urgency. And wonder, when gentle, is deeply relaxing. As this calm curiosity continues to unfold, your body sinks further into rest. Muscles grow heavier. Thoughts grow lighter. The world narrows to breath, warmth, and sound. From here, the path continues smoothly, carrying you deeper into a quiet flow of new insights, softer questions, and restful reflection, guiding you onward naturally into the next peaceful layer of this sleeping universe. Guiding you onward, naturally, into the next peaceful layer of this sleeping universe. Here, attention drifts toward the mystery of connection. Across vast distances, particles can influence one another instantly, behaving as though separation does not truly exist. Science measures this phenomenon with care, yet the reason it happens remains quietly unresolved. Space may be wider than imagination, but at its deepest level, everything seems gently linked. That idea can rest with you now. You are not isolated. You are held within something larger, even while lying still. As breath flows easily, the focus softens toward the nature of silence. In space, sound cannot travel, yet the universe feels far from empty. Radiation hums, fields vibrate, motion continues without noise. Science detects activity everywhere, but silence itself remains difficult to define. Perhaps silence is not the absence of sound, but the presence of calm. You can feel that calm settling in. A quiet that does not erase, only soothes. Another unanswered question glides gently forward: why certain patterns repeat throughout nature. Spirals appear in galaxies, shells, storms, even in the shapes of plants. Mathematics describes these patterns with elegance, yet the reason they emerge so consistently remains an open wonder. It is as if the universe prefers familiar rhythms. Your own body follows rhythms too: heartbeat, breath, sleep, and those rhythms know how to guide you without instruction. As awareness becomes heavier, science turns its gaze toward the passage of memory through generations. Some behaviors appear without being taught. Some fears and comforts feel ancient. Biology can trace genes, but why certain tendencies echo through time remains partly unexplained. Memory may travel in ways more subtle than we realize. Tonight, you do not need to carry history. You are allowed to rest in the present. The mystery of beauty drifts quietly into view. Why do certain colors calm the mind? Why do gentle movements feel reassuring? Why does symmetry relax attention? Science observes these responses, yet cannot fully explain why beauty feels like relief. Perhaps beauty is simply recognition, a sense of belonging without thought. As the night deepens, your mind may wander less frequently now. Gaps appear between thoughts. These gaps are not emptiness, they are rest. Science studies activity, signals, and processes, but the still spaces between them remain quietly powerful. Let those spaces widen, let them breathe. There are questions science asks about the future of the universe, whether expansion will continue forever, whether everything will slowly fade into darkness, or transform into some entirely new. These outcomes remain unknown, distant, and abstract. For now, the universe continues gently, moment by moment. And so do you. Your body may feel warmer, heavier, softer. Awareness thins like clouds drifting across moonlight. Listening no longer requires effort. The sound of this voice can simply pass through, like a breeze moving through tall grass. From here, the journey flows onward without interruption, carrying you deeper into calm reflection, quieter mysteries, and the comforting realization that not knowing can be a place of rest. As we continue gently forward, attention now drifts toward a question that feels both distant and familiar: why existence feels continuous. Science can divide moments into measurements, frames, and intervals, yet experience flows smoothly, without visible seams. Awareness does not arrive in pieces. It moves like a quiet stream, uninterrupted, even as thoughts rise and fade. You can allow yourself to float within that stream. No edges, no urgency. Another soft mystery unfolds around choice. Decisions appear to form before conscious awareness catches up. Brain activity can be observed moments before intention is felt, yet the sense of agency remains deeply real. Science traces signals, but the feeling of choosing, gentle, personal, intimate, remains something lived rather than explained. For now, there is no need to choose anything. Rest has already been chosen. As the night deepens, curiosity glides toward the warmth of emotion. Feelings arise from chemical exchanges and electrical patterns, yet their depth cannot be reduced to mechanics alone. Comfort, longing, peace, these experiences hold a texture science cannot fully translate. Peace, especially, arrives quietly, like this moment. The universe itself carries unanswered questions about its own stability. Constants remain remarkably precise, balanced in ways that allow stars to burn calmly for billions of years. Why these values exist as they do remains unknown. Still, their quiet reliability makes rest possible, not only for planets but for minds. Let that reliability support you now. Nothing is required of you. As listening softens further, consider the sense of self. Over time, cells replace themselves, memories shift, perspectives change. And yet, identity feels continuous. Science observes change, but the feeling of being remains steady, like a soft anchor in motion. You do not need to hold on to that anchor tonight. It will remain without effort. The boundary between wakefulness and sleep grows thinner here. Thoughts slow, images may flicker. Sound becomes distant. This in-between space is familiar to the brain, though difficult to map fully. Science studies transitions, but the exact moment when waking becomes dreaming remains undefined. And that is perfectly gentle. As your breathing deepens, the body releases tension stored throughout the day. Without instruction, without analysis, muscles soften. The nervous system eases. Rest unfolds on its own, guided by processes older than thought. You are safe within those processes. From this place, the journey continues seamlessly, carrying awareness deeper into softness, where mysteries no longer invite curiosity alone, but offer comfort, and where listening can slowly dissolve into sleep. As we drift onward, here, awareness settles into a quieter layer, where questions feel less like ideas and more like gentle sensations. Science observes that the body knows how to heal without conscious direction. Cuts close, bones mend, balance returns, complex systems coordinate in silence, guided by instructions no one ever hears. The deeper intelligence behind this coordination remains only partly understood. You can trust that intelligence now. It is already working. It does not need supervision. Another calm mystery rests in why certain moments feel timeless. Occasionally, attention becomes so still that minutes pass unnoticed. The mind steps aside, leaving only presence. Neuroscience tracks altered states, yet the feeling of timelessness itself remains something experienced, not fully explained. This moment can be one of those, nothing pulling, nothing pushing. As the rhythm of listening continues, consider the nature of comfort. Why does a familiar sound soothe the nervous system? Why does softness calm thought? Science can observe responses, but the deep sense of safety that arrives with comfort has a quality beyond measurement. Let that safety spread gently now, across your chest, through your limbs. The universe, too, carries its own version of comfort. Stars form inside vast clouds of dust, cradled by gravity until light emerges. Science understands the process, yet the reason creation unfolds so patiently remains a quiet wonder. Nothing rushes, nothing forces. You are allowed to move at that same pace. As awareness dims slightly, curiosity touches on the boundary between rest and renewal. Sleep restores memory, emotion, and focus, yet why rest feels refreshing rather than merely inactive remains partly unknown. Something subtle resets, aligns, softens. That resetting is happening now. Thoughts may arrive more slowly, like distant lights fading one by one. If they appear, they do not require attention. They can pass, just as unanswered questions pass through science without urgency. In this calm space, even curiosity grows tired. In a peaceful way, it no longer seeks. It simply rests alongside the unknown. From here, the flow continues without pause, carrying you deeper into stillness, where mysteries no longer need names, and where rest becomes the most natural response, as we gently continue. Now, attention settles into an even softer state, where awareness feels wide and unfocused, like a calm night sky without constellations. Science observes that the mind never truly switches off. Even in deep sleep, subtle activity continues, sorting, balancing, restoring. Yet why this activity feels peaceful rather than noisy remains quietly unexplained. You don't need to listen closely anymore. Your mind knows how to drift while sound flows past. Another gentle mystery rests in the feeling of presence. Being here does not require effort, instruction, or explanation. It simply happens. Neuroscience can describe networks and signals, but the simple sense of being remains something felt rather than solved, and feeling is enough. As the voice continues, your body may feel heavier, as though gravity has grown kinder. Muscles soften further. The line between thought and sensation blurs. Science studies relaxation responses, but the ease that arrives during deep rest has a softness beyond data. Let that ease spread slowly, like warmth through cool air. Some questions remain even in silence. Why calm feels safe? Why slowing down feels like returning home? Why rest carries emotional relief as well as physical recovery? These experiences are measured, studied, described, yet their deeper comfort stays gently out of reach. Perhaps comfort does not wish to be explained. Perhaps it wishes only to be felt. As awareness drifts lower, you may notice moments where listening fades entirely, then returns. This is natural. The brain moves between layers of rest, slipping in and out without announcement. Science maps stages, but the subjective flow remains dreamlike. You are flowing now. The universe itself offers a quiet parallel. Vast regions of space exist where little happens, where matter drifts slowly, untouched for millions of years. Stillness is not emptiness. It is simply a slower rhythm. You are allowed to match that rhythm. With each breath, the need to follow words loosens, meaning becomes optional. Sound becomes texture, thought becomes distant. This is the space where sleep begins to take the lead. And so without effort, without decision, the journey continues onward, deeper into softness where curiosity rests, questions fade into calm, and awareness gently prepares to slip further into the quiet that follows. Here, awareness thins even more, like mist dissolving into night air. Science observes that attention narrows before sleep, focusing less on detail and more on sensation. The exact reason this shift feels comforting remains gently unclear. Perhaps the mind knows when it is safe to let go. You can let go now. Nothing is required of you. Another unanswered softness drifts through, why rhythm calms the nerve. A system, a steady breath, a slow voice, a repeating pattern. These signals ease the body without instruction. Science measures the response, yet the reason rhythm feels reassuring at such a deep level remains a quiet mystery. Feel your own rhythm, breath in and out. As the voice continues, the mind may begin creating fragments of imagery, colors, spaces, sensations, without narrative. This drifting state sits between waking and dreaming. Neuroscience maps the transition, but the subjective feeling of gently slipping remains difficult to define. You are slipping now, smoothly, naturally. The body enters a phase where external awareness softens, sounds lose sharp edges, words blend into tone. Meaning becomes less important than presence. Science notes this shift, yet cannot fully explain why surrendering awareness feels so safe. Safety does not need explanation. It simply settles. Some mysteries never even form as questions. Why rest feels earned even without effort. Why stillness feels full rather than empty. Why silence carries weight and warmth. These experiences live beyond analysis, existing comfortably without definition. Your body understands them. As muscles relax further, the sense of boundaries fades. Hands feel distant, legs feel heavy. The space you occupy feels wider, quieter. Science can describe proprioception changing, but the sensation itself remains dreamlike and personal. Let that dreamlike feeling deepen. Thoughts now arrive rarely, and when they do, they dissolve before forming fully. This is the mind stepping back, allowing deeper systems to take over. No guidance is needed. The transition unfolds on its own. From here, the journey continues, effortlessly, carrying awareness further away from the surface of thought, deeper into rest, where mysteries no longer appear as ideas at all, but as quiet, comforting darkness inviting sleep. Now, awareness rests so lightly that it barely touches thought at all. Science notices that the sense of separation begins to soften at this depth of rest. The boundary between inner and outer experience grows indistinct. Sounds feel farther away. Sensations blend together. The reason this fading of edges feels peaceful remains gently unexplained. You do not need edges right now. You are safe without them. Breathing continues on its own, slow and steady, guided by rhythms far older than conscious intention. The body follows patterns learned over a lifetime, and beyond that, patterns carried through countless generations. Science can trace pathways, but the quiet confidence of automatic breathing remains something felt rather than understood. Each breath carries you deeper. Another calm mystery drifts beneath awareness. Why surrender feels like relief. Letting go of control reduces effort, softens tension, and invites rest. Yet the deeper reason release feels comforting rather than frightening remains subtle and difficult to explain. Perhaps rest is the natural state. Perhaps effort is temporary. The mind now listens less to words and more to tone. Meaning dissolves into sound. Sound dissolves into silence. Neuroscience observes this shift, yet the comfort of floating between awareness and sleep remains a personal experience, untouched by measurement. You are floating now, supported, unhurried. In this space, curiosity no longer reaches outward. It folds in. Ward, becoming quiet acceptance. The unanswered questions of science no longer feel like questions at all. They become part of a larger calm, background presence rather than focus. Your thoughts may pause completely for moments at a time. These pauses are not empty. They are restorative. They are the mind resting in its own depth. The universe mirrors this stillness. Between stars lie vast regions of calm, where motion slows to almost nothing, where silence stretches gently across unimaginable distances. Still, everything remains connected, held within a larger whole. You are held too, As the night deepens, the sense of listening itself begins to fade. There is no need to follow, no need to stay alert. Sleep does not need permission. It arrives when resistance dissolves. And so the journey continues softly onward, carrying you further into rest, where awareness drifts lower still, toward the deeper quiet waiting just ahead, toward the deeper quiet waiting just ahead. Here, the mind becomes a gentle observer, noticing without engagement. Science can describe brain waves, cycles, and neural patterns, yet the serene feeling of drifting, of being neither fully awake nor fully asleep, remains beyond explanation. It is a mystery that comforts simply by existing. You can let yourself be that observer now. No need to follow, no need to understand. Another subtle question floats softly: why dreams feel vivid yet fleeting? Sleep conjures entire worlds, sensations, emotions, and stories, only to let them dissolve as consciousness shifts. Neuroscience tracks signals, but the poetic quality, the ephemeral magic of dreaming, remains unexplained. Allow your mind to experience fragments without effort. Colors, shapes, or sensations may drift past like clouds in moonlight. Even familiar mysteries like the pull of gravity take on a gentle quality here. You are supported by unseen forces moving through space with quiet consistency. The reason gravity exists is still unknown at its deepest level, yet its effect is reliable, unhurried, and soft. Trust the pull. Feel the weight settle. The universe also presents the question of why life persists against odds. Complex systems continue, evolve, and adapt, even amid chaos. Science can describe the mechanisms, yet the quiet, resilient persistence of life remains mysterious. It unfolds in its own time, without rush, without demand. Your body mirrors that patience tonight. Cells repair, energy flows, muscles soften, rest occurs naturally. As attention drifts lower, the mind may notice patterns without expectation. Stars, clouds, thoughts, they appear in forms familiar yet never identical. Science studies recurrence, symmetry, and structure, yet the subtle joy of recognizing patterns without seeking them remains a gentle enigma. Simply notice. Without need to name or explain, there is comfort in quiet recognition. The voice you hear may fade into texture, blending with soft silence. Sleep approaches steadily, unhurried, a natural companion. The unanswered questions of science now feel like stars far above, present, distant, and reassuring in their gentle constancy. And so, the journey continues deeper, toward a place where awareness thins, thought dissolves, and rest becomes all that remains. And rest becomes all that remains. At this depth, awareness feels soft, expanded, and untethered. Science observes that the perception of self slowly blends with the surroundings during deep relaxation. Boundaries between inner experience and outer space fade, leaving a calm sense of unity. How and why this blending feels so safe remains a quiet mystery. You are part of the space around you, held, supported, free. Another gentle question drifts near: why the night feels comforting. Darkness does not simply remove light, it softens thought, eases attention, and signals safety to the nervous system. The science of circadian rhythms explains some of it, yet the deep, emotional comfort of night remains partially unexplained. Let the arcaness wrap you in calm. Feel it as a soft presence rather than absence. Your breath carries a quiet rhythm, matching the gentle pulse of the universe itself. Stars drift silently. Galaxies spin without haste. Time continues without demand. Science measures movement, yet the effortless grace of these cosmic patterns cannot be fully captured, only felt. Feel that effortless grace within yourself now. Allow muscles, mind, and heart to drift with it. Even the tiniest mysteries like the origin of intuition hover quietly nearby. Decisions often arise before awareness recognizes them. Signals can be traced, patterns observed, yet the soft knowing of instinct remains elusive. Perhaps intuition is the mind resting, solving puzzles without conscious effort. You too may rest without needing to act. Everything will unfold gently on its own. The universe mirrors your own experience. Vast spaces of stillness, unseen and immeasurable, exist between stars, planets, and galaxies. They remind us that silence is not emptiness. It is a place of calm potential. You are entering your own space of calm potential. Thoughts continue to fade like distant lights. If one drifts by, notice it softly, then let it dissolve. There is no urgency, no expectation, no weight. Science may chart thought and sleep cycles, but the peaceful drifting between them remains a mystery that feels like home. From here, the journey carries you deeper still, where the mind thins, the body relaxes further, and every unanswered question becomes a gentle companion, inviting rest, and every unanswered question becomes a gentle companion, inviting rest. Here, the mind drifts into a state where even time feels soft. Moments stretch and blend, seconds and minutes lose their sharp edges. Science can measure the flow of time with precision, yet the subjective feeling of its passage remains a quiet, personal mystery. You are floating within that soft passage now. No hurry, no expectation. Another calm wonder drifts near. Why the body knows how to sleep, deep cycles, restorative processes, subtle shifts in heart rate and brain activity, they all unfold automatically, guided by mechanisms that are only partially understood. Yet the comfort of surrendering to sleep is immediate, tangible, and gentle. Allow your body to follow its wisdom. Relax deeper into its quiet rhythm. Even familiar forces, like gravity and inertia, take on a soothing quality here. You feel grounded yet free, supported without effort, cradled by forces that are constant and unseen. The science of these forces can explain behavior, but their comforting effect remains a quiet wonder. Feel that support now, soft, steady, reliable. The universe itself offers subtle mysteries that mirror this night. Dark matter and dark energy shape galaxies, stretch space, guide cosmic patterns, largely invisible, quietly present, and essential. Science can measure their effects, but cannot fully explain their nature. And yet just knowing they are there can feel calming. Let that quiet presence settle with you, invisible but holding everything together. Your thoughts continue to slow. Sensations of your body become richer in their softness. Sounds fade into texture. Awareness thins like mist. These are the spaces between waking and dreaming, the gentle folds where science cannot reach, but where rest is complete. From here, the journey moves naturally, carrying you further into stillness, deeper into calm, until all that remains is quiet, peaceful sleep, surrounded by the comforting mysteries of the universe. And all that remains is quiet, peaceful sleep, surrounded by the comforting mysteries of the universe. Now, your awareness drifts even softer, almost like a whisper in the night. Science observes that sleep itself is still a profound mystery. While brain activity cycles and hormonal shifts are measured, why sleep feels so restorative, physically, emotionally, and mentally, remains partially unknown. And perhaps that mystery is part of its gentle gift. Allow yourself to sink deeper into that gift. No need to think, no need to try. Another quiet wonder comes to mind, why some sounds soothe more than others. The soft rustle of leaves, the distant hum of a night breeze, or the subtle rhythm of a calm voice can ease the nervous system. Science can record patterns of response, yet the emotional comfort those sounds bring remains partly unexplained. Let the sound of this voice become part of that rhythm. Let it guide you toward ease. As the night grows deeper, imagine the slow drift of planets and stars across space. Their movements follow rules. Science understands, yet the seamless beauty of these motions, the way galaxies spin, nebulae glow, and stars pulse, feels almost like a lullaby. Float alongside that quiet cosmic dance. Steady, gentle, infinite. Your own body mirrors this cosmic rhythm. Heartbeat, breath, energy, each flows with natural precision, largely unnoticed, yet essential for life and rest. Science measures these flows, but their calming effect is something you experience, not see. Calculate. Let that flow guide your rest now. Allow the body to soften completely. Even thought itself becomes lighter here. Questions that once seemed urgent now fade into gentle curiosity, dissolving without effort. Each unanswered question is no longer a puzzle to solve, but a soft star, twinkling quietly in the vast night of your mind. Watch them float past without needing to reach. All is calm, all is safe. From this place, the journey continues effortlessly, deeper into sleep, where science's mysteries remain gentle companions, comforting, unseen, and perfectly still. Here, your awareness drifts further into softness, where the edges of thought begin to blur. Science notes that consciousness itself remains a mystery. How awareness arises, how it experiences the world, why it feels like something rather than nothing. These questions have no definitive answers, and yet, the very act of experiencing them can feel like a gentle presence guiding you toward calm. You are that presence now, silent, steady, and free. Another gentle mystery glides into view, why night and darkness encourage rest. Beyond circadian rhythms and light receptors, humans feel a natural pull toward quiet in the absence of brightness. The why remains elusive, yet its effect is undeniable. Night softens thought, slows movement, and invites serenity. Let that pull carry you deeper. Allow darkness to cradle your mind. The universe itself offers a comforting parallel. Vast stretches of space remain largely empty, yet even emptiness carries influence. Gravity, radiation, and unseen forces operate quietly, shaping galaxies without haste or demand. Science observes, measures, theorizes, but the effort, less elegance, remains a mystery. Float alongside that quiet elegance. There is no rush here. Even your body mirrors cosmic subtlety. Nervous system, circulation, respiration, all continue in synchronized calm. Muscles relax further. Bones, joints, tissues settle into gentle weight. Science can describe these processes, yet their smooth, unobserved orchestration remains quietly astonishing. Feel yourself being orchestrated into calm, soft, precise, natural. Another delicate question drifts closer, why wonder feels comforting. Curiosity, even unanswered, can soothe when approached without urgency. The mind can dwell in not knowing and find a gentle kind of joy, a slow awareness that feels safe rather than demanding. Notice that gentle joy now. It is enough. As thoughts fade like distant stars, silence stretches fully around you. Each breath carries subtle reassurance. Each heartbeat reminds you that nothing is urgent. All that exists is the quiet unfolding of night, the soft presence of the universe, and the ease of your own body. From here, the journey continues naturally deeper into stillness, where sleep begins to take over gently without resistance, cradled by the mysteries that surround you. Now, your awareness drifts even further, lighter than thought itself. Science observes that memory and perception shift during rest, blending moments and sensations into dreamlike patterns. How the brain achieves this seamless integration remains a gentle mystery. For now, these patterns can float around you without demand or interpretation. Allow them to drift softly, No need to hold on. Another quiet wonder appears, why small moments of awe calm the mind. Seeing a DI, stant star, feeling the pull of gravity, noticing a subtle pattern. These glimpses soothe without reason. Neuroscience tracks reactions, but the inner sense of peace they bring is beyond full explanation. Let that peace move through you now, subtle, deep, unhurried. Even the universe itself rests in a similar rhythm. Galaxies rotate, cosmic dust drifts, black holes bend light, all without rush. The reasons behind these processes are not fully known, yet their movement feels harmonious, like a slow, eternal lullaby. Flow gently alongside that cosmic rhythm. There is no need to understand. Your body continues to soften. Every breath grows slower, more effortless. Every muscle releases tension naturally. Science observes the mechanisms, but the sensation, the calm fullness of physical surrender, remains a private wonder. Sink further into that private wonder now. Another mystery floats quietly, why questions can feel comforting instead of urgent. Unanswered mysteries, gentle curiosities, and subtle unknowns can soothe rather than provoke when approached softly. They invite reflection without pressure, like stars twinkling in a vast, silent night. Notice that gentle invitation now. Let curiosity rest alongside you. As awareness thins, silence stretches around and within you. Sounds, thoughts, and sensations merge into a soft flowing presence. The voice you hear becomes part of that flow, a calm guide fading into texture, guiding you toward deeper rest. From this place, the journey continues naturally, effortlessly, carrying you closer to sleep, surrounded by quiet mysteries, cosmic calm, and the soft, infinite night of your own mind. Here, your awareness drifts even lig, tear, like a feather floating in still air. Science observes that sleep stages flow seamlessly, yet why consciousness ebbs and returns in cycles remains partially unexplained. Each cycle carries restoration, memory integration, and subtle recalibration, quietly guiding the body and mind without effort. Allow yourself to move gently through these cycles. No control is needed. No effort is required. Another gentle mystery drifts into your awareness. Why quiet moments feel expansive. The space between thoughts, the soft pause after inhalation, the calm stretch of attention, all feel larger than their measure. Science can track neural activity, but the inner sense of expansion, of being held in wide calm, remains mysterious. Feel that quiet expansion now. Let it stretch softly through your mind and body. Even the cosmos mirrors this state. Vast regions of near-empty space hold galaxies, stars, and unseen matter, yet their presence is subtle, slow, and patient. Science studies forces, distances, and energy, but the effortless elegance of these structures remains a gentle mystery, a quiet lullaby for the mind. Float alongside that cosmic patience. There is no rush, no demand. Your body continues to follow rhythms older than thought. Heartbeat, respiration, temperature regulation, all synchronize quietly. Muscles and joints sink deeper. Energy moves through tissues without awareness. Science can measure these flows, yet their soothing effect is something experienced, not analyzed. Allow yourself to rest completely within that flow. Another calm wonder drifts softly, why the mind sometimes knows when to surrender. The decision to let go, to drift into sleep, is not fully understood, yet surrender feels safe, effortless, natural, like a hand reaching to guide you into a deeper state of calm. Let that hand guide you now. Relax deeper, float further. As the voice becomes softer, awareness thins, thoughts dissolve, and presence narrows to a gentle hum of breath, heartbeat, and quiet curiosity. Science may never fully explain this exact sensation, and that is perfectly acceptable. From this place, the The journey continues naturally, deeper still, into calm, effortless sleep, where mysteries are companions, presence is complete, and rest is infinite. At this depth, your awareness becomes a soft echo, moving lightly through layers of calm. Science observes subtle brainwave shifts during this stage, yet why these patterns create such profound feelings of serenity remains gently unexplained. The mind enters a space where everything slows, and the quiet hum of existence becomes your companion. Float in that hum now. No action is needed, no thought is required. Another gentle question drifts near. Why familiarity feels comforting at night. Sounds, sensations, and even the cadence of a voice can evoke calm without fully understanding why. Science can describe responses, yet the inner sense of ease, the kind that encourages sleep, is a mystery felt more than measured. Let that ease surround you now, soft, steady, and unhurried. The universe itself mirrors this gentle rhythm. Stars burn steadily across vast distances. Galaxies rotate without haste. Nebulae glow in quiet splendor. Even unseen forces guide motion without urgency. Science can chart movement and energy, but the graceful, effortless flow of it all is a mystery that comforts. Drift along, Sid. That cosmic flow. There is no need to follow or analyze. Your body, too, mirrors the universe's patience. Circulation slows gently. Muscles release entirely. Nerves quiet. Sleep-inducing chemicals move subtly through your system. Science can describe these mechanisms, but the experience, the soft surrender of the body, is something to feel, not to figure out. Allow that surrender to deepen further. Another quiet wonder surfaces, why curiosity can soothe rather than excite. Even unanswered questions, gentle mysteries or subtle unknowns can comfort when approached without urgency. They act like distant stars in a night sky, present, luminous, but not demanding attention. Notice them softly now. They can float past without pulling you along. As the voice softens, the edges of thought dissolve entirely. Awareness is light, body is still, and presence itself becomes a gentle stream. Science may never fully explain the subtleties of this state, yet it is perfectly sufficient to simply experience it. From here, the journey continues onward effortlessly, deeper into the calm, where every question rests quietly, every breath guides you further, and sleep becomes inevitable. Now, your awareness drifts even lighter, like a soft mist settling over a quiet landscape. Science observes that during deep rest, neurons fire in patterns that integrate memory and emotion. Yet why these processes feel soothing remains a gentle mystery. The mind floats freely, untouched by pressure, guided only by its natural rhythms. Let yourself float with those rhythms now, no resistance, no expectation. Another quiet wonder drifts near, why warmth feels comforting, whether from blankets, body tempi, nature, or ambient night air. Warmth signals safety to the nervous system. Science can explain the physiology, but the profound sense of reassurance it brings, soft, steady, and calming, remains elusive. Feel that warmth spreading gently now, through your chest, your limbs, your entire being. Even the universe participates in a similar quiet. Cosmic structures unfold slowly, predictably, yet with subtle surprises that science can track but never fully predict. Stars are born, galaxies spiral, nebulae glow, unfolding with patient elegance. The unknown does not disturb the rhythm, it enhances its gentle complexity. Drift alongside that quiet elegance. There is no need to rush or measure. Your body continues its own quiet orchestration. Heartbeat, respiration, circulation, all move in synchrony. Muscles release further. Joints sink into softness. Energy flows without effort. Science can describe these systems, yet the serene experience of complete bodily surrender remains a mystery meant only to be felt. Allow every part of yourself to release. Another gentle curiosity drifts through why night fosters introspection. Thoughts slow, memories emerge, awareness softens. Science may study patterns, but the quiet reflection that arises in the absence of light cannot be fully explained. It is simply experienced as a natural lullaby. Notice how reflection drifts gently, without effort. No answers are required. As sound, sensation, and thought merge into soft texture, sleep draws closer. Awareness becomes a gentle hum, resting in rhythm with breath, heartbeat, and the subtle pull of rest itself. Every mystery, every unanswered question now rests alongside you, calm, quiet, and assuring. From here, the journey continues deeper still, into a space where the mind thins, the body rests fully, and every layer of consciousness is held gently, preparing for complete sleep. At this stage, awareness drifts almost imperceptibly. Science observes that the transition from wakefulness to deep sleep involves subtle shifts in brain connectivity, yet why these shifts feel effortless and soothing remains a quiet enigma. You are floating within that gentle transition now, fully supported by your own body and mind. Allow yourself to soften completely. There is nothing to hold, nothing to do. Another quiet mystery drifts near, why quiet reflection brings clarity without effort. In moments of stillness, thoughts seem to organize naturally, feelings settle, and a sense of calm emerges. Neuroscience can measure patterns, yet the deep, restorative clarity of rest is something only experienced. Notice that clarity without grasping it. Simply let it settle around you. The universe mirrors this calm. Vast stretches of space are almost motionless, yet full of potential. Stars, planets, and galaxies exist in a delicate balance, influenced by forces largely unseen. Science can describe the mechanics, but the quiet elegance of their ongoing motion, unrushed, unforced, remains a mystery. Drift alongside that quiet balance. You are held within a similar harmony. Your body continues its gentle work. Circulation, breathing, and temperature regulation flow in perfect rhythm. Muscles release any remaining tension. Nerves rest. The mind thins further, thoughts softening into distant echoes. Science may describe these processes, but the experience, the quiet surrender of your body, is beyond full explanation. Allow that surrender to deepen. Another gentle curiosity drifts forward, why slow, deliberate breathing eases the mind. Each inhalation and exhalation calms neural pathways, lowers tension, and signals safety. The mechanisms can be studied, yet the soothing sensation is something to be felt, not analyzed. Breathe slowly now, in and out, softly, calmly. From this place, the journey continues seamlessly, carrying you into the final layer of deep rest, where every unanswered question, every quiet wonder, and every soft mystery coexists peacefully, guiding you naturally into sleep. Here, all awareness softens completely. Science notes that during deep sleep, the brain consolidates memories, balances emotions, and restores the body, yet the profound sense of calm and peace that accompanies it remains partly unexplained. You are now floating in that quiet, restorative space, free from thought, free from effort, and fully held by the night. Allow yourself to sink fully. Every breath, every heartbeat, every gentle rhythm supports you. Another final mystery drifts gently into the mind, why rest itself feels so necessary and restorative. Science can explain some mechanisms, yet the feeling of being restored, renewed, and safe as consciousness drifts away remains beautifully unexplained. And tonight that mystery works entirely in your favor. Feel the calmness filling every part of you, muscles softening, mind unwinding, awareness fading into gentle stillness. The universe mirrors this final serenity. Vast spaces, silent yet full of life, continue effortlessly in harmony. Galaxies spin, stars shine, and unseen forces guide everything with quiet patience. Their rhythm is infinite, and now so is your rest. Every unanswered question, every subtle curiosity, every mystery you've encountered tonight now floats softly beside you. None demand attention, none require solving. They are companions, gentle and calm, as sleep carries you deeper. And now, as your body, mind, and spirit settle completely, sleep takes over fully. Good night, rest deeply, and let the mysteries of the universe cradle you until morning.